Professor Chung is worried about his beloved Hong Kong. He's been teaching sociology at the city's technical university for nearly 30 years. But the city is changing, he says, in his view, for the worse.
So this is the station.
He points out the station serving the high-speed rail link to the Chinese mainland. It's a huge investment by Beijing, cutting the journey time from Hong Kong to its mainland neighbour, Guangzhou, to just 45 minutes.
It's a station in practice, but of course it also becomes a symbol telling Hong Kong people that the administrative structure, power and the development of mainland China is extending to Hong Kong. And Hong Kong is further integrated into China.
The station is controversial. Effectively, this is Chinese territory. Mainland police carry out passport checks, enforcing authoritarian Chinese rule in supposedly free Hong Kong. And Beijing's influence is growing. On the surface, everything looks the same, but many here are worried that Beijing wants to turn freewheeling Hong Kong into just another Chinese city. Part of the drama is playing out at the courthouse in West Kowloon, where leaders of the 2014 umbrella protests have been on trial. The umbrella protests 4 years ago saw tens of thousands take to the streets for weeks on end, demanding free elections. Beijing was outraged. Now the organisers are facing charges of disrupting public order.
Xi Jinping is still the president of the country, and he is now pushing the country to a more authoritarian directions. And naturally, Hong Kong will be affected by it unless our government is willing to defend our existing institution and value. But I don't see this.
The verdict is due next month. If convicted, Chan Kin-man and his fellow defendants face up to 7 years in jail. The umbrella protest trial is not the only example. Last year, the Hong Kong Foreign Correspondents Club was the venue for an event featuring the leader of a party campaigning for independence from China. It was hosted by Victor Mallet, seen here on the right. After the event, Mallet's work permit was not renewed, supposedly because he did not cancel the event despite pressure from Beijing. It's the first documented expulsion of a foreign journalist. Keith Richburg, Professor of Journalism at Hong Kong University, has been following the case. This map on the wall highlights areas of press freedom. China is a media black spot. Hong Kong, an orange dot marking limited press freedom.
Tough for journalists. This was always a place that journalists would come to when they got kicked out of China or kicked out of Indonesia or kicked out of anywhere in Southeast Asia. Hong Kong was always this kind of free hub. And if Hong Kong was now starting to kick out a foreign journalist, to me that was a real turning point.
Professor Chung takes us out of the city. He wants to show us the new bridge to Zhuhai and Macau. For Chung, it's another symbol of Beijing's power and influence, the longest sea crossing on Earth, linking 3 major cities on the Pearl River Delta, built with Chinese money and might.
One thing the Beijing side should do is to give more room for Hong Kong people and to stick to the idea of one country, two system. Keeping their promise is the best way to gain back the confidence and trust of Hong Kong people.
Beijing and Hong Kong. As the mainland turns up the pressure, the sense of freedom in Hong Kong is gradually being eroded.